Am I the a-hole stories? The first story is titled, Am I the a-hole for not buying a replacement for the engagement ring my fiancé lost? I 33 male been with my fiancé 26 female for over 2 years, we recently got engaged, I saved up for the engagement ring that costs $8,000, I've given up a lot of things that needed buying / car needed repair / I even stopped spending money eating out and limited my time with my friends, skipped trips and weekends getaways, and still got rent to pay on top of it all. Last week, my fiancé called me and she was freaking out. She told me that she lost her engagement ring while she was out shopping with her sisters. I tried to get her to calm down and she wanted me to come over to her mom's as fast as I can to discuss what happened. I arrived at her mom's place. Her mom was sitting while my fiancé explained how she lost her ring and how pissed off she was, but never said nor implied that it was her fault and tried to put the blame elsewhere. I told her no problem, that I will get her a new one soon once I've saved up for it. She gave me a look. She didn't seem to take me seriously, started complaining about how she will not be waiting for me to save up because that would take long, and also she won't be able to walk around without her ring now that she let everyone know that she got engaged. I told her I had no other choice, but I was stunned when she mentioned the money I've been saving up for the private surgery that I will be undergoing in 2 months since public hospitals are being crowded and my condition couldn't wait any longer. I'm experiencing increased pain and having a difficulty doing daily activities due to a heart condition. I declined and she kept insisting and even said that I should get money from my parents who already paid enough for my treatment. I said no, told her she needed to wait, but she started saying that clearly our relationship didn't mean anything to me and that I think that her feelings didn't matter. Talked about how having a ring was the least she could ask for. Her mom didn't say anything, just tried to come with ways for me to consider this. I fought with my fiancé and called her unreasonable for asking me to literally choose between my operation and her. When I left, I got a text telling me how big of a deal this was for her and that it was not okay for me to disregard her feelings like this, and that there will not be a wedding long as I continue to ignore her basic requests and needs. We haven't talked ever since. My mom got into a huge argument with her and that complicated things even more. Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. I'd cut my losses and consider it a blessing that she's shown her true colors. She sounds vapid and undeserving. Take care of your health and find someone who wants you to do the same. It's like she completely forgot about my condition and how much pain I've been enduring. Besides paying for doctor's appointments / paying for rent / paying for her stuff, I'm no longer able to work properly due to being exhausted and out of breath all the time. I feel like there's so much I need to do with little time and effort. She refuses to give me a break even though she's seen how much I'm struggling to get her what she asked for. I'm tired of being yelled at for not doing enough or that I somehow don't value her and out her first. But this time she was being completely unreasonable and it was just a little more than I could handle. Sounds like she cares more about the ring than about you. OP, honestly, it's like she'd be fine with being a young widow as long as she had a ring on her finger, since she gives no s about your pain or health. Take this blessing and GTFO before she drives you into an early grave. Not the a-hole. This made me think she was being unreasonable for wanting me to spend the money I've been saving for my surgery on a new ring. She knows exactly how much difficult it is for me to even continue working and save money, and I'm starting to get tired and unable to function like I used to. My parents have done enough and she can't push me to go to them and ask for money. This will not be happening. I said that I was going to start saving up for a new ring, but she said she wanted to use the money I have to buy her a ring instead of the one she lost and postpone my surgery so she could show off to her friends and family. OP, can't you just file a police report and get your ring insurance involved? The huge giant red flags to me here are that if she isn't interested in doing either of those things, then she has the ring in a nice, safe place, or threw it out herself to get a bigger, better replacement. The ring was not insured. She told me that wouldn't be necessary. She said that she lost it at the mall and that she came back to look for it, but it must have taken by someone, so it was pretty much gone. Not the a-hole, and run. Run fast. Run far. Run. This time? I'm sure if you sat down quietly and thought about it, you'd come up with a dozen other times where she's put herself first at your expense. She cares more about appearances than your health. Do you honestly believe that's going to change? Enough said. You're not her fiancé. You're a walking, talking ATM who dispenses cash when she wants it. As for the ring, I'm betting she sold the ring for cash and wants another one. No one who loves you would demand another ring. Her story is fishy. She and her mother sounds like grifters. I don't think she sold it. I think she is just that self-centered or has a personality disorder, so she doesn't care about her losing the ring. She cares about not having it, and her getting a new is not anything she even considered. I 100% agree with Run. He might love her, she might give the best S in the world, but this is about as toxic as it can get before marriage while she still risks scaring him away. Don't walk, run, cry, regret, and in a year or so looking back, be thankful you posted on this forum so that you woke from the trance and was able to escape. Not the a-hole. Your divorce currently is costing you £8,000. I'd take that deal and run. Think of all the money he's saving on the wedding. He's coming out way ahead of a divorce. For the second story. My 26 female, fiancé, 27 male, gave my brother, 28 male, a loan. He's refusing to pay it back, and now my parents hate my fiancé for threatening to take him to court and want me to break up with him. My brother is the golden child. All our life our parents have handed him things and have conditioned me and my sister to do the same. So, when my brother asked my fiancé for a loan, I stupidly didn't tell him not to give him it. The thing is, my brother never pays anyone back. I've given him £5,000 plus before and I've never seen a penny back. My brother was supposed to pay my fiancé back last week, and to no one's surprise he claimed he didn't have the money. I think my fiancé would have just dropped it, but my brother said some pretty degrading things about my fiancé and his family and their financial situation to his face. He then made a tasteless joke about how they, my family, should ask him for a bride price. Turns out, my fiancé is smarter than the rest of us and had my brother sign an agreement before he gave him the money. He's now threatening to take him to court if he doesn't repay him the money by the end of October. My parents are furious because my brother definitely doesn't have the money to repay him, and they think my fiancé is greedy and selfish. They've been demanding I break up with him since because they don't want someone like that in the family. My sister is egging my fiancé on because my brother has taken a lot of money from her before too, and she thinks he deserves this. My sister-in-law has been begging me to make my fiancé drop it since they really can't afford it and they just had a baby. My fiancé said he doesn't want any of them, excluding my sister, coming to our wedding. I don't want to break up with my fiancé, but I also don't want to get married without my parents being there. I know they're in the wrong here, but I feel like banning my parents who never took the money is a bit extreme. What can I do to make them all come to an agreement? Edit, he borrowed £15,000. Edit 2, I agree with my fiancé taking my brother to court. That wasn't the point of this post. Please stop making comments implying I'm trying to convince my fiancé not to. Edit 3, it seems like I worded this post really badly, but I am not considering breaking up with my fiancé over this. Now for the top advice. You can't make them come to an agreement. What you can do is come to terms with the fact that your parents would rather ruin your future happiness than stand back and let your brother face the consequences of his actions like an adult for once, let alone actually call him to account for behaving like an asshole, and decide what you want to do about that. And since it sounds like you don't actually want to break up with your fiancé, that means telling them you don't want to hear another word about that, even if it means they won't be coming to the wedding. Yes. This is exactly what OP needs to take away from the situation. This isn't family loyalty, this is enabling toxic behavior and guilting you into it. Take your fiancé and get out. You're stuck in a loop where you think if you do what your parents ask of you, you'll get some of the affection your brother hoarded. But it sadly won't happen. Not to mention, if the fiancé does forego the money, the parents aren't going to see him as an awesome dude. They're still going to have a massive chip on their shoulder about the whole thing. The damage is done, so might as well collect the money. I'm going to add to this and say living this way tends to make you into a people pleaser for everyone, and it'll break you if you don't address it. I'd highly suggest getting a therapist if you don't have one already. The truth hurts, but you're probably right. Is your brother on drugs? How does he go through so much money? I think he has a gambling addiction, but he claimed it was for house repairs. The next story is titled, "Am I the a-hole for telling my daughter I didn't marry her dad for love?" I have a 17-year-old daughter who has been kind of difficult lately. She is getting really into social issues and just doesn't stop when I ask her to. We were having a conversation last night about relationships, and I admitted that I didn't love her father when I married him, and I married him entirely for his money, and she got very upset. I always assumed she kind of knew. We have a 25-year age difference, got married after less than a year of knowing each other, and she's heard stories from family about the crazy fights we used to have. She got really mad at me, which I can't figure out because she knows how much I love him right now. She just kept saying that was terrible, and I said women back. She called me a professional, which my husband overheard and began screaming and tried to ground her for 2 weeks, but I talked him out of that. Right now, she is still mad at me but not mad at him for blowing up on her. My husband says I shouldn't have told her when I knew she was going through this phase. Now for the top judgment of this post. You're the a-hole for giving your 17-year-old daughter some very complicated information that she couldn't possibly begin to understand. Just because she knows there's a 25-year age difference between you and your husband, doesn't mean she knows that you married him purely for money. Honestly, I think you're an asshole for doing that too, but it's not why you came here. Even if it's true and even if subconsciously your daughter knew that, no kid would enjoy being told one of their parents didn't love the other parent when they got married. Not everything is for your kids to hear, no matter how old they are. You're an asshole. Your husband is right. And your daughter has every reason to be upset with you. No teenager wants to hear her parents started as a sugar daddy/baby situation. And she's not entirely wrong about the prostitution comment. Sugaring is real close to S-work, and in some cases the lines get blurred. I'd have to assume that's the case considering a marriage happened and a child was produced, which means OP and her sugar daddy were definitely having S. Not all sugaring involves S. You're the a-hole. Why would you think a 17-year-old is prepared to hear something like this? You just dumped your skeletons on her like it was nothing, and then expect her to be okay? Shame on you for being superficial in your marriage, and now for involving your child. Parents should not ever include their children in conversations about their marital affairs. It's a great way to ruin a kid's perception of their parents, or family in general. Edit: it's not my place to condemn the nature of OP's relationship with her husband if they both agreed to it. But everything else stands. I agree this shouldn't be discussed with the daughter. But why is this such a shameful thing? If both adults were on board, which they clearly were, then there is absolutely nothing shameful about what happened. OP got money, OP's husband got a 25-year younger wife. They both got a spouse and a child. Everyone's relationship looks different, and if people are honest and respectful, then I see no issue. You're the a-hole. She got really mad at me, which I can't figure out because she knows how much I love him right now. You certainly didn't indicate that with your word choice. She is getting really into social issues and just doesn't stop when I ask her to. Why do you ask her to? Now for the last story. Am I the a-hole for yelling at my girlfriend for doing some photo shoot? So, a week ago or so my girlfriend mentioned that she was approached on campus about doing a free photo shoot. It sounded sketchy as hell, as it was 1, at a frat house. 2, no website/email, just a phone number. 3, the flyer was just a piece of paper. I told her as much and she was in agreement, or so I thought. Turns out she texted the hash of the flyer and asked if they were legit, and they said yes. So, she went and did the shoot, which involved a few outfits. Casual, bathing suit, some underwear/lingerie, and nude. She tells me all this after she does the shoot. Where I also find out it was basically in the living room of one of the local frats. There were like 4 dudes taking photos with iPhones. But that's okay because they're so advanced now. And she said she was invited to come back next week because I did such a great job. She was super excited about it. That's when I exploded. Yelled at her. She got upset, called me an a-hole. Said they were very professional. And I'm jealous of her talent. I admit to being kinda mean, but am I the a-hole? I mean, come on. This is ridiculous. For context, she was homeschooled prior to college and is very naive. Now for the top judgment. Not the a-hole. Your girlfriend is an idiot. Being naive enough to let 4 frat guys take iPhone shots of your nethers is not a talent. And she's lucky that's all that happened, if that is all that happened. What are they going to try to do next time? This is what I'm most worried about next time. I'm going to be honest, I think I'd be out at this point. She lied to you when she told you she wouldn't do it. She put herself in a super sketchy situation, and she's apparently super into having frat guys stare at her with her clothes off. I wouldn't quite call what she did cheating, but yeah, I think it's disrespectful to your relationship to parade around naked for a bunch of frat dudes' enjoyment. Even if she didn't cheat, which I would question, since she already misled you, it's not headed in a great direction for you. I would suggest that you offer to go with her to check it out and that you are sure she wouldn't mind, as it's professional, so you are just curious. Love to be a fly on the wall when you turn up with her to the frat house. Not the a-hole. Your anger was most likely misplaced worry that anything could have happened. Pretty sure we have all been there. I'd go, but like if she doesn't stop when I point out the fakeness, I'd feel really crappy just watching 4 dudes taking photos of her butt naked. Either this is fake, or you're dating a complete moron. No. You're not the a-hole, even for yelling. I would have let her go already. I swear it isn't fake. It's hard for me to believe as is. She's otherwise a very nice girl and smart at pretty much non-social stuff. I think just about anybody here would dump that girl so fast her head would spin. I'd say, if you continue to stay with her past this point, it's all on you. You're the moron past this point. If someone can't convince her to not go back, I'll probably move on. And that's the end of the video. Thank you for coming this far. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you like the content, and I'll catch you in the next one. Have a good day everyone.